Hello, team. Look at me. I've been streaming live, and I didn't even hit begin stream. Well, look at that. There's new automatic things. Oh, that's right. I switched to automatic start. Right. Well, who knows how long I've been standing here just putzing around. Well, cheers, team. Cheers. Here we are. I better start with some coffee. I haven't had coffee since 11 a.m. and well, actually it was tea, and it's been, I don't know, my mind's not functioning. Probably because I had to fill out a form online. There's a thing called the Luxembourg Prize for Artists. So we are here. Who knows how long we've been sitting around, so I'm just going to say that we're here. Whoops. Here. I'm going to say that I've wasted 10 minutes. We'll see if we can get in somewhat near an hour, but not quite an hour. The Luxembourg Prize. Prize for emerging artists. It'll pay my student loans when I win it. Okay, brother, I've been confident of winning things before and then never won anything. We'll see what happens. It's a juried show, so I guess it doesn't count as winning. Disco Jesus, help me. I started a garden yesterday and immediately got yelled at, so I'm still in a bad mood from that. This is Senora del Lago, the Lady of the Lake. Lady of the Lake, may everybody who complains about my garden give in to me and give me a garden. Ishu Legois and Saint Expedite, open the gates for me. And end my procrastination. So we've summoned the affectations. Okay, brother. We've got the coffee going. So what else is there to do? We can just get on into it. I'm trying to kill off this painting. It's a pig leg monkey on a table, talking to the big head guy and then the skunk man. This is a painting where I've created two characters and I don't know who they are or what their significance is. In order to figure that out, at this point, the painting is giving me no clues. I would need to write a dialogue between them all. I got the rug, and I added some purple, and I'm not fond of that. I need to add some darkerness under the table, so I'll do that. Maybe I don't, but do it anyway. I feel low energy and slow today. How are you feeling, Cave Dweller? I hope you're not low energy and slow. I hope things are going great for you. Let's see what we got. I'm going to use my super big brush, the 1-inch wide brush, to put this on. I'm sorry, I'm having an interior monologue with myself, going over the bad news of them not allowing me to have a garden. I mean, for the love of Mike, I've been taking care of that church for 12 years, and I dig a garden, and instantly they're at my throat. Didn't even ask, why are you digging up the lawn? Didn't ask, are you putting in a garden? Didn't say, hey, wish you would have asked us if you could have put up a garden. No, just turn the sod back over. And move your car into a spot. I've been taking advantage of church not being in session, so I've just been parking any old way in the parking stalls, just because I can. And like sticks in their craw, I guess. The craw of the senior warden. I swear, everybody with power hates my guts. I don't know what to make of it. It drives me nuts. I don't know what to do. Because people in power run the world, so if all of them hate me, it leaves me in a bad situation. It's because I don't like liberals or postmodernism. I mean, I don't know what. I don't know what it is. Give him a shade. Give this guy a shade. Wipe it off. No, it's a little aggressive with wipe off. Put it back in. There we go. Just enough. Just enough. That's all you need is enough. Well, I want to finish this painting today, but these are paintings within the painting, and I want to take some time with those. I should actually take this painting home and work on those paintings within the paintings at home, because those are paintings hanging on my wall now. But they don't have to be. I mean, this could be a painting of this painting. Even though the one that's actually in my home is much bigger. Let's put it in. Okay, so it's got some pink. The Luxembourg Prize. I'm going for it. I had to fill out this online form, and I had to scroll through a list of 2 million artists, looking for artists that inspire me, and I found 5. But none of those 5 are ones that I'm like, that are always on my mind. The artists that are always on my mind are like Jack Kirby, and mostly Jack Kirby. Other cartoonists, but mostly Jack Kirby. There's cartoonists that if I stumble across him, I'll be like, oh yeah. Frank Robbins, for instance. Milton Caniff. Although I've never really read any Milton Caniff. I read the first few months of Terry and the Pirates, and it was alright, but his drawings are more interesting than his comic is, I think. There's a certain 1940s-ish to his work that doesn't appear in Frank Robbins. Frank Robbins is, you might call him a poor man's Milton Caniff, but he's somewhat more interesting to me. Alright, so what's going on this painting? Of a painting. Let's put this in there. So if I was going to squint at this, and it looks like a mess. I mean, the small one that you're looking at. Huh. Well, there's not really any pink in there, so this pink is no more good. But he's got some reflected in his glasses. There we go. So, at the bottom of the hour, we'll do an anime review. I'm binging on anime when I should be working on my comic. During the long weekend, I inked one page of my comic. I didn't pencil in anymore. Well, because the very next page is, even in the script, my script is just a rough version of the comic. It's got crossed out panels and that aren't filled in with anything, and I don't know where the space is, and I don't know what's going on. And I added something on the bottom panel of the page I inked that wasn't in the script, and now it threw everything off, so I have to redo it all. And I went to Kenosha's cafe. They have one cafe, The Buzz, and I was going to write it, and I got caught up with the Luxembourg Prize and trying to sign in to that. And I was also reading something from a book about Sufis, which was interesting. I'll read some of that to you later. Help me, saints. Preserve us. What am I doing? I'm putting this painting in there. Okay, I just want to knock this in quick because I don't want to use up all my time today painting paintings within the painting. These should just be impressions of the painting. They should not be actual reproductions. Just like a painting of a graphic design is not a graphic design, these paintings of paintings are not paintings. They're paintings of paintings. Now then, we'll get the blue going. Add a little bit of white to that. When I win the Luxembourg prize, Cave Dweller, it's a trip for 2 to Luxembourg at a 5-star hotel. So if you're a good enough friend of mine, I'll take you along. Of course, they don't have any single beds. They only have a queen-size bed in the room, which means contact. So you decide if you want to come along. Batman, you are the battiest man. I was reading a mystery novel called The Bat earlier this year, and I thought it would be about a pulp hero named The Bat. It turns out it was not. It was just a standard issue mystery novel. Tea room mystery. Which means uninteresting. When you hear the words tea room mystery, you can just think Agatha Christie and boredom. British tea room. This was an American tea room mystery. I guess it was all right. Dark and stormy night and everything. But I couldn't finish it. I just couldn't get into it. I kept getting distracted. I think that's happening more and more to me now that I'm on social media. It's a curse, and I've been trying to get out of social media for a while now. But it keeps pulling me back in because of that instant gratification of that one guy liked your post. Yes. There's like one guy, 2 guys that like my posts. Lazy Cat, Saltpris Rex, he calls himself. And then there's another guy who sometimes likes my posts. That's it. Sometimes if I tag a person in a post, then they'll like the post. I try to promote guys that I like. Gary Lackman, Jason Horsley, authors. I respect authors because I always wanted to be one. This is supposed to be green, but I used the wrong yellow. I'm trying to mix green, and I used transparent yellow oxide. Yep, that'll do it every time. Better add some white. That's not bad. It's a little bit dingy. It's a dingy. I just spattered my pants. All right. This goes here. Yeah, okay, that's perfect. Kind of dingy green for this bottom of this painting. And I should have given this painting an underpainting, which was what all this pink was going to be, I guess. Okay, well that's all right. I'll give it an overpainting later. Gotta give him some flesh tone. Zip. Alright, there we have it, the bat. That's pretty easy. I thought that'd be more difficult to put that in. This one's going to be a real pain. So to do this one, I'm going to put in the, I need blue. I'm going to put in the blue. I'm going to put in Guadalupe and the police box, the police call box. Alright, here's Guadalupe. Police call box. We got it. Oh, Team Cave Dweller, we got 5 minutes until the anime review. I hope you've been enjoying my show so far. I'm trying to add things that will make it more interesting. Someday I may even add video that doesn't involve me in it. Well, it might involve me, but it might involve other things like an interview. I would like to be able to cut to an interview. It's surprising to me how much time goes by in so little amount of time. And I'd like to have a cam over my head so you can see what I'm doing on my palette. Like right now, I don't know what it looks like I'm doing, but I'm scraping off my palette knife with another palette knife. I don't know why, I just suddenly became obsessed with doing that. It's something I could do. I shouldn't have this brush in the water. One thing I learned is never leave your brush all the way in the water, because it runs down into the ferrule and dissolves the glue, and then everything falls apart. And the paint, it wicks up into the wood, which expands the brush and cracks the paint. And when it cracks the paint, the ferrule gets loose. So hairs fall out because of the glue, and then the ferrule gets loose because of expansion and contraction, and then you're kaput. Now, if you have a brush like this, which is wider than it is wide when it should be thin, it should be at a knife edge like this, right? You can't see that. Well, then it doesn't matter. In fact, I need new brushes, but the art store is closed permanently, except for using the app. And there's no way in hell I'm going to use an app to drive up to a store and have them bring it to my car. I want to go in and look at the junk and schmooze. You can't schmooze on a damn app. There's a cafe down the block from my house that I used to go to every day. They closed for the virus panic. They reopened, but at the walk-up window only, and you have to use the app. They won't touch your card. They won't accept cash. And I said, screw you. I love you guys, the people at the counter, but I don't like being told to use an app. Even though I literally have on my phone an app called Cash App. All right, so this is, okay, that's in. Guadalupe is going to be in as soon as I get the blackness of Guadalupe. She's a chthonic goddess and or saint. She's called a saint, but really she's an apparition of Mary, and Mary's basically just a goddess. I mean, I don't know what the Catholics will tell you about that. They'll probably say she's not, but I'm telling you, adoration is adoration. All right, so I'm putting in this black with a lot of water, just to get an under painting on there. And that's probably all I'm going to do for that now, because it's going to take forever to dry because of the water. Wish I could see the wrinkles of these shirts. Can't see any wrinkles. Something like this, maybe. And this down here. All right. Let's make this recede by using this white sauce. This white blue sauce. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, baby. My rug is not actually blue, and it's certainly not this bright of a blue. I want to use as little of it as possible. When I say that, I'm saying I want to let the layer underneath shine through. Not because I love building layers, but if you're going to go over and over and over something, at least show the palimpsest, right? At least show what was there before. It adds visual interest, because it's history. I'm still so upset that somebody was yelling at me for starting a garden that I can hardly think straight. Cave Dweller, it's so upsetting. I just feel like a little kid, like, why is it always me? Why does this happen to me? Which brings us to our anime. Welcome to the anime review. I just binge watched 2 seasons, Netflix seasons, so it's like binge watching 1 season, but it's still 12 hours of anime. Yeah, 12 hours, 24 episodes of anime. I watched that this last week, and it's rotoscoped. I've just realized that the Netflix anime, many of them are rotoscoped, which is wonderful in one sense. It provides subtlety of movement that you don't have in the hand-drawn like straight up drawn manga where everybody's stiff and then they don't move, which I love. I love that. And that's one thing I miss in the rotoscoped anime. The rotoscoped anime, everything is always in movement. And, subtle things like, people moving their heads just barely, and then you can see the shift in the color of the clothing and everything where the light hits it. I love that subtlety, but I miss the stiff things not moving, just their mouth moving, or not moving at all, and it's panning, and the background plate is moving, right? The two still drawings moving across each other, and somebody's thinking aloud. I love that. A latte. And it's not present in the rotoscoped anime, which is unfortunate and sad, and it makes me cry. But this one I watched was called Agent, I think. I really don't know why I don't remember the title. It's a made-up word, and it's immortal people. People are born immortal. And these immortals they come back to life. You kill them, they come back to life. And they have the ability to scream and put everybody in a paralysis. And they have an ability to control this thing that they only call black stuff. And then it forms a creature that they called an IBM. Something. I don't know what the acronym means. All I can remember is like intercontinental ballistic missile? What? But it controls this giant black creature that nobody can see. They call it the experiencers, the immortals call it a ghost. The main kid calls it a ghost. But the researchers have the name IBM. So, and the ghosts can fight each other, and their only vulnerable spot is their head. If they hit each other in the fist, boom, blocking each other, it destroys both fists. They're only able to maintain their physical presence for 30 seconds or so, a minute, 2 minutes maybe. And they're physical, but light passes through them. They're obedient to the laws of gravity, but they can jump really high and they're super strong, and so the kid's a super genius, but he hates humanity. He doesn't like he just wants a peaceful life. Meanwhile, there's another guy, and they're persecuted. The immortals are persecuted, and then there's another guy called the man with the hat, and then later you learn his name, which Sato. His name is Sato, and he's a paramilitary expert and immortal, and he just loves to play games. And you find out later he's just playing a game. But ostensibly, when you meet him, throughout the first episode or season, he's trying to set up a safe place for immortals because they're treated like dirt. In fact, in the first season, it's suggested that Sato has been harvesting organs from the immortals and selling them on the black market. Which, in the second season, they kind of like brushed that aside, and one of the characters is like, "Where's the rest of them? Where's the rest of them?" Because if you didn't join Sato, he said, put him in a barrel and put him in the basement. And you're like, ooh, wow. They're locked in a barrel and they're immortal. So they can die, they can suffocate, and they come back to life. It's a horrible situation. However, second season, the allies of Sato who go over to the good guy's side, they're like, oh no, we let them go. So that great moment where you think that he's super devious and evil, turns out he's not that evil. But he's still evil. Just make him evil. If he's evil, he's evil. Why do you gotta pull back the evil punches? I know why. It's the American wuss audience. A bunch of wimps in America. I think they should just go all out. In fact, the star should not be a kid. And they should just do an anime about bicycle messengers. I love the fantastic. But there's so many other genres. Even the slice of life genres, and I've said this before, even the slice of life genres that we see in America are really only just shoujo, which is stories for boys, middle school boys is what that means. But this Agent, it was suspenseful, it had some good ideas, and then the interplay and change of the characters, and I love when characters are not who they start out as, and they go through shifts, and other characters bounce off them and interact and move and make changes. Buffy the Vampire Slayer and that space show by Joss Whedon are the best examples I've seen of this in American TV. Though I can't say that I've watched a lot of American TV. Any of the Netflix shows I haven't really watched. So I don't even know if Breaking Bad is Netflix. But Breaking Bad is, I don't know what that's about. So maybe that was good. I don't know. But there might be shows, hypothetically, that have character interactions where people change and make choices, and there's repercussions for their choices, and they change sides and allegiances. That, to me, is fascinating. And why don't I do that in my own work? I don't know. Agent, Story of Immortals. Not bad for Netflix, but, you know, it's, in the end, it was just a big fight scene. They use a video game metaphor, again, in this, you know. In fact, Sato is always playing video games, and he says, it's not, the game isn't over once they take over Japan. Then they just start the game again. Well, and then he dies. And then he's captured. And then he dies again. And then he comes back. Or right before he gets shot out of the sky, he's in an American plane. Right before he gets shot out of the sky, he says to his buddy, his last and only remaining buddy, who hasn't defected from his side, he says, yeah, it's not over. This is just the beginning of the second playthrough. Boom. Plane explodes. Team, I don't know. I have to tell you, I'm disappointed with that ending. Big fight scene at the end. Everything works out right. There, not like 2 or 3 times where he's about to deliver the fatal killing blow, chop off somebody's head, kill the non-immortal, and somebody stops him, you know? Distracts him with a bullet through his shoulder. What? I don't know. I just, you know, I guess I loved watching it, but I feel like it wasn't time well spent. All right. 5 minutes of anime review is over. We are done with this painting. Now then, let's get back to this painting. In a few minutes, I'll read something to you. Maybe. Did I give this time to dry? Yeah, that's pretty dry. All right. That is some yellow and purple in there. Well, I tell you, it just jumped down your throat. Just because I dug up some lawn. Come on. Let a guy have a garden. All I was going to do was plant native Wisconsin prairie flowers. Because I love bumblebees and other bees. It's like I became immortal. Like when the kid turned immortal. And suddenly all his friends turned on him. Because there's a rumor of $1 million reward for reporting an immortal. And then they capture him. It's just a rumor though. But when the kid turned immortal, all his friends turned on him. And he was like, huh? Why me? Why me? All I wanted was a quiet life. That's all he wanted was a quiet life. Isn't that like all of us? I know that's all I want. I mean, I have to admit that even though I fantasize about having an exciting life, when I do something exciting, I'm just uncomfortable. I just want to go home and sit around. I've just become a curmudgeon. All I like doing is reading and watching anime, and I don't even like doing my own work, even though as much as I love this. Excuse me. I had to sneeze. I couldn't help myself. I want to finish this today. Let's do it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add white to yellow, and I'm going to make this room very bright, and I'm going to make this window very bright so that it washes out. Rather than making it darker in the background, I'm going to make it as bright white as possible, as if somebody lit a flashbulb in your face. We'll see if that does anything. We'll see if that does the trick. I was going to make this green like trees. I still can. But I kind of like the idea of the bright light coming in. Of course, now I'm going to have to add shadows to everything. That's not something I'm going to relish, just because it throws me into the realm of I have no idea what I'm doing. Because, again, I'm not observing it. And because I'm not observing it, I have to make it up. And then, for instance, he would be mostly black in here because you wouldn't be able to make it out. I can't tell what's dry on my palette and what's... Okay. Let's add ivory black and some magic sauce. I want it transparent. I want transparent black because like I keep saying, I don't want to obscure what I've done. I just want to make it black, or give it the impression of being black. I had a good talk with the seamstress at Bjorn's today. Bjorn's is a clothing shop downtown Kenosha, where they have really great deals. So if you love clothing, I recommend going there. But I had a great talk with the seamstress about Harleys and clothing. It's hard to work in a clothing store and not be into clothing. It's almost like it's impossible. All right, so his shoulder, some blackness here, some blackness here. So it looks so black because it's in contrast to that bright window. This will be black. This will make this darker. Maybe we can give it a lost edge too. Yeah, baby, lost edges. It's one of the things that makes art awesome. And this is going to be darker. Everything is darker now. You add light and it makes everything darker. That's counterintuitive, Cave Dweller. It shouldn't be that way, but now it is. And it'll probably save this painting. I'm going to make these walls burnt sienna, even though the actual walls are cream color. Under this painting once, I had I've talked about this in Skrauss Speaks You Listen. I can never think of anything to do for birthdays or Christmas for people, so usually I do nothing. Same reason I don't ever do anything on Halloween. I can never think of anything in time to actually execute it. Anyway, and it's the same reason I don't have a career, because taking action is something I belabor and then just never get around to. And that's one of my fallbacks. There's some kind of personality type that's holding me back, and I don't know, whatever. But the result is that I forgot what I was talking about. The result is that I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Oh, so I couldn't think of anything to do. Birthdays were really important to this chick. Birthdays, Valentine's Day, anniversary, Christmas. These were sacred days, quarterly, where I had to come up with some kind of gigantic plan to make her feel like the most special thing in the universe. I mean, she was special, but I mean, she wasn't comics, you know? And, okay, I did this one year, I did those are the things where you find clues and you search for the next clue. What's that called? I don't know, some kind of search. I did one of those. And then the result was no present. The result was just her name and my name and a heart painted on my wall. It's so horrible. It's so bad. I just feel like such a jerk for doing that. I'm not a jerk, but like, I'm embarrassed because it's so dumb. But that's all I had. That's all I could think of. Poor Blanks. Poor Reverend Blanks. She's a reverend now. Serves her right. This is darkness. I mean, based on that lame-ass gift, I should be a reverend too. I mean, if being a reverend is a punishment. But, you know, things don't work out like they should be, I guess. There is no justice. Justice is for chumps, as they say. And as Agatha Christie says in The Mousetrap, they say, who says? That wasn't my line, that was someone else's line. That was actually my sister's line. In the play, I have a sister. I was the psychopath cop. The cop who was a psychopath because he was schizo. Hey, you want to hear something that I've been reading? Let me read it. All right. Thank you, Disco Jesus, for being with us today and making us always entertained. This is a book called The Way of the Sufi, published in '69, I guess. I got it on a little free library. Originally, somebody paid $8.95 for it. Wow, this was back in 1970. Wow, that's a lot of money for a book in 1970. Books like this, paperback books in 1970 were less than $1. Or maybe... and they were at least less than $2. And then somebody was selling it at another bookshop for $4.50. I got it for free, a little free library. It's pretty great. Here's the introduction. Or no, let's read that one story that I read. Oh, there's this terrible story in here. Can I find it? Sorry, wait one. This book, it seems to be a collection of stories and little sayings. Like here's something titled Levels of Truth. What appears to be truth is a worldly distortion of objective truth. What appears to be truth is a worldly distortion of objective truth. Huh. How and why? The essence of truth is superior to the terminology of how or why. Yeah, baby. Let's read about astrology. A Sufi once knew, through prescience, that a city would shortly be attacked by an enemy. He told his neighbor, who realized that he was a voracious but simple man, and who advised him, I am sure that you are right, and you should go and tell the monarch. But, if you want to be believed, please say that you divined it, not by wisdom, but by astrology. Then he will act, and the town may be saved. The Sufi did so, and the townspeople were delivered through the correct precautions being taken. Huh. The Way of the Sufi. It's a bunch of great stories. Ooh, here's one called The Delightful Village. They say, this village is delightful, but more delightful still is the heart of the man who can say, I am not delighted by delightful villages. I don't know if I agree. I'm not delighted by delightful villages. I'm just a curmudgeon. Everything goes full circles around the circles. We're painting this. I'm gonna give it some white, or some of this down here. But I need some white. We're almost out of time, Cave Dweller. It's been fun. It's been a delightful town full of delights and delightful items. I've been having the time of my life, singing songs, playing games, being sad, being happy. Cave Dweller, I love being here with you. I just wish you were here. I really wish you were here. Oh, it's probably because I don't publicize the fact that I'm going live. Well, I don't know. I'm a little late today because I tried to gain a second Google account so I could get all my live streams on one account and keep Skrauss Speaks Who Listen on the old account. But now it's just everything is confused and Google is confused. It took me a half hour to get back into my old Google account, which is this one. And I don't know. Why didn't I just use it on the other one and put it in your live stream on that one? I don't know. That's what I got it for. But somehow I just can't seem to do it. I just feel the need to put everything on once. Oh, he's not wearing shoes. He's wearing claw feet. Oh, Cave Dweller. Life is hard for the Skrauss. Not that that's an excuse. I mean, but it is. Okay, so is there a shadow of some kind here? Glass tables don't have darkness beneath them. Let's just paint through this like this instead of having... And we'll put some on the side. And don't forget the bottom. Oh, it looks like I've been forgetting the bottom. Can't forget the bottom. What if somebody hangs it up really high? Then you look like a chump. They're like, ooh, hide that bottom of the painting. That's horrible. It ruins the whole wall. Now let's try to not ruin the whole wall. Okay, so there that is. And there I am. And Cave Dweller, I wish we could have fun like this all the time, instead of just 3 days a week. Theoretically, it's possible. Someday, I'll have multiple cameras, and I'll have a producer that I can talk to, just like Bob Ross talked to his producer, whom everybody knows the name of, but I don't, because I'm not a fan of Bob Ross. Oh, amongst the artists that were inspirational, that for the Luxembourg Prize, that I could have checked their box, was Bob Ross. Andy Warhol had 2 entries. You could check them more than once. No Jack Kirby. I had to write in Jack Kirby. And Linda Berry. Cave Dweller, saints preserve us, and may Disco Jesus always be on your side. Yeah, that's me. That's my wish for you. Loving you. Sign of the goat. Or wait, is that this? Or is it this? Or is it this?